Oh, sure. I wasn't quite ready. I'm still getting my recording devices together, but hey, hey, hi, Dave. Just your thoughts heading into the weekend. Maybe if you could discuss what you're thinking about from a pitching standpoint, and just maybe the topical observations about facing Mississippi State.
Yeah, just first on the pitching rotation. What we're going to do is we're going to let Hunter Holland have a couple more days to rest, and we'll either throw him game 2 or game 3, hopefully. Let that leg continue to rest, and then so we're going to just flip it, and we'll start Hagen Smith, and then we're going to just TBA it for Saturday, Sunday. I mean, obviously, there's a really good chance that Tiger gets the ball in one of those games, and then we'll just piggyback off of him. We're just not sure which day we want to do it yet. And then as far as Mississippi State, I mean, everyone I talk to, will use the lingo. They're better than their record. They're a dangerous team, so I think that is probably due to, things that maybe haven't gone their way. They can really hit. And then you throw in the fact that each team has 9 games left, and, they got to get some wins. But, I've tried to teach these guys since they walked in the door that they all count the same. They all mean the same. Win's a win, a loss is a loss when the season's over, as far as regular season. And we're just going to go down there and do everything we can to win the first game and go from there.
Okay, and just for Hagen, how prepared do you think he is to jump back in there and be ready to go and try to give you 5 or 6 or more?
Yeah, he needs to give us at least that many more. He's known for a week that he's going to do this, so he's had plenty of time to prepare. He's been preparing anyway with his bullpens throughout the season. I think he's looking forward to going out there and starting the game.
Okay, thanks.
Andrew Ellis.
Yeah, coach, offensively, it seems like each week you have 1 or 2 guys that are hot and then a couple who might not be as hot. Do you think that you guys are due possibly for a week where it just kind of all comes together offensively?
Yeah, hitting, it's so hard. Pitching's so good in the league, stuff's so good. It's hard to really get them all rolling, but if you can get 4 or 5 guys in your lineup that have a good weekend, man, you'll be tough to beat, because runs are hard to get. Now, you never know when you're going to break loose and just have that weekend where it gels and you got 6 guys that are getting after it. Just everything's going their way. They're confident, seeing the ball good. But I know that I don't know if it's going to happen. I know that we would love it. This would be a great weekend with just all that's gone on, with the injuries and, just example, Stovall probably will not play this weekend. I don't even think I'm going to put him on the roster. Going to let him rest that shoulder another 5 or 6 days. He's not ready yet. So, you're going to have either Holt in there or possibly Cole. So we got to have some guys pick it up.
And then just with your bullpen, Gage Wood's emergence, how much has that led into the decision to have Hagen start again? Do you feel a lot better about that group of guys who could close the games like Wood?
Yeah, I mean, Wood's been real consistent, really, his last probably 4 or 5 outings. I think he kind of likes that role, finishing the game, coming in and, getting maybe 6 outs or so. He's been good at it. Throws a lot of strikes. He can throw 3 or 4 pitches for a strike. And, yeah, I mean, it definitely helps saying, okay, we're not going to pitch Holland game 1. And, the way we've been running is bringing Smith off of him if we were probably tied or winning. Now you're going to go with the person who's been kind of semi-closing for you to start. So you got to have somebody take that role. And I would say he's the main guy, and I think he likes it. And we do have a lot of confidence in him.
Hodge.
Dave, with Holland, do you feel confident that you will pitch him at some point this weekend, or is there still possible that you give him the weekend off?
I feel like that we will pitch him, but I mean, that's always a possibility. But he's been doing what he's supposed to do to get ready to pitch and start a game as far as, is working on the mound and throwing his bullpen and pretty much everything he can do. And, he's healthy, except he's got a leg that's been bothering him, and it seems to be getting better. So we feel like as of today, that he's going to get on the mound in Starkville.
And Dylan Carter shared the news yesterday about his UCL injury. Just what was your reaction to that? And how do you expect to maybe replace those innings that he was giving you?
Well, my reaction was, I wouldn't say it was shock, but after the first MRI, the Friday before the Monday that he had the second one done, was clean. And even the doctors they felt good. And they just thought, well, we'll do the dye just to double check. And then it came back with a tear. It was kind of shocking, actually, and just disappointed. Felt bad for him. I found out like at 4:30 in the afternoon. I gave him a call. I think we'd all individually called him to see how he was doing and talked to him a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you don't replace him, really. When he was rolling along there, he was pitching at 90-93 and throwing a slider for a strike and pitching some real tough leverage situations. We got to have some guys pick it up. We've had a couple guys in the bullpen that, haven't done well lately, and they have good arms, and it's time to get it going again.
Bob.
Yeah, Dave, when you say that, the last answer, you talk about Bybee and Fouch, I assume, or who'd you mean by that?
Yeah, those are a couple of them. I mean, they've got to get some outs for us. I feel like the other day, honestly, Fouch, looking back at, we'll just call it track man, he got hosed a couple pitches into the first hitter. They were in the strike zone. And for a kid that needs a little bit of a break or some confidence, I mean, I could tell that those pitches, I mean, the way our catcher was acting, the way our pitcher's acting, then you go back and look at him, and I think he missed 2 of them on the first hitter that should have been strikes. And he was a little fragile out there. And, so we've told him, hey, we have confidence in you, and you just keep getting after it, and we're going to give you the ball, and, go back to thinking that you're good, because you are. And, Bybee, he just tiptoeing around the strike zone too much, just missing. Just needs to go out there and compete, not worry about getting hit. Just throw the ball over the plate and let him hit it, and we'll field it.
And there's actually a question Nate was wanting us to ask you. I guess, what are the benefits looking ahead to not having any more of these midweek games, getting ready for the other conference series after this one? You're done with the midweek games. What, especially with all the injuries, what are the benefits of that?
Well, I mean, that's part of it. With all the injuries, it gives us an opportunity more than anything to rest our relievers and get them where they might be able to throw twice on the weekend if we need them to, a little here and there. But also next week, not having a game, getting ready for finals, playing a weekend series, not having a game the next week, finishing up their finals. And then after that, we're finishing the regular season. So I think it's kind of a mental break for them. You get worn out a little bit mentally with all that goes on in college baseball, with the travel and the number of games, and the stress of the weekends, and then you throw the injuries on top of it. I usually don't have any games at this time of the year. I mean, it's not like this is a new thing. We haven't scheduled these 2 weeks for a while.
And so you probably saw the news this morning. Alabama fired Brad Bohannon. Wonder what your thoughts and reaction is to that news.
Don't really know what happened. Don't know all the details. I really like Brad. I don't know what, what's going on there. I'm sure we'll find out more throughout the day in the next few days, but I feel bad for, the players on the team, feel bad for the coaches and fans. It's, I don't know what went on. I guess they've got something to be able to make that move pretty quick. So just a bad setup, bad situation.
Thanks.
Tom.
Speaking of firings, Chris Lamonis letting go their pitching coach, Foxhall this week. And I don't know if directly relates to how things might change, but any thoughts on maybe their pitchers being a little more rejuvenated or whatever from that?
I have no idea how that'll affect the team. I mean, you have to be in that locker room to know that. I don't know if, if the players are upset about it or happy about it or a little bit of both. I mean, you just never know. And I'm sure they'll try to rally the troops, and they know what's up against them, and just try to, try to get some wins. I mean, that's the situation we're all in, but the teams that, are down there heading 9 games left, you got 5, 6, 7 wins, they're all fighting to get into the SEC tournament, not the NCAA tournament yet, but so they want to have a chance to get to that tournament. That, those teams they're gonna fight you pretty good, and we know that.
Okay, thanks.
Hodge.
Yeah, Dave, I know some of them are bad luck, like Wagner breaking his thumb, sliding into the bag and stuff like that. But with so many significant and even lingering injuries this year, have you been able to figure out a common thread or reason behind so many injuries this year more than years past?
I just think it's just kind of the luck of the draw. I mean, it's the same schedule, same just about everything, honestly. And the injuries are, you look at it, for the most part, it's been older pitchers. Guys have thrown a lot. I mean, big time summer ball last summer for Dylan, then fall ball, and it starts to add up. I would say just about every pitcher that's been playing ball and is a guy that pitches a lot. The elbow injury is just around the corner. I mean, it's just a matter of time. I mean, did you guys know Hagen Smith had Tommy John when he was a junior in high school? I mean, you look in the big leagues too. It's the same way. The other injuries are just, on the position players, they're just injuries that happen, hamstrings and sore shoulders, tendonitis. It's the way it is.
I was going to ask you about the Tommy John, like a broad picture. I mean, I guess, Hunter Elliott at Ole Miss and Garrett Edwards at LSU both came out this week that they need it as well. Do you know why? I mean, is it just a matter of overuse at younger ages, or do you have any big picture thoughts on why that may be?
Well, I don't think you can point your finger to one thing unless, as a young person, somebody's just been abused. When a guy gets into college, and they're managed pretty good by trainers, coaches, strength and conditioning coaches. I mean, they're probably in the best shape of their life. I just think throwing a baseball overhand is some serious stress on an arm. And, we've had our center fielder, we've had 2 center fielders had Tommy John, over the years. So just take it in and out and bingo, pops. So when you're playing a sport, there's always danger of getting hurt. We hate it. In a perfect world, I wish we started the season later and we could have a little more time and to get these pitchers right before we open the season. I think that has a little bit to do with it as well.
Robert.
Yeah, with Stovall, I'm wondering, is there a more specific label to? I know you said it's a banged up shoulder, but is there something more specific you can call it? And then is there any concern that he might be out longer than this weekend?
Well, there's always concern on that. I mean, really, the only thing I can tell you is it's inflammation, which means basically tendonitis, and then it's bothering because we've got to get that inflammation to calm down, go away a little bit, and they're working hard to get that taken care of.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time.
Okay, we'll see you guys.